Hey guys, JP here, and today we're going to do another full detail, this time on a 2019 Toyota Corolla sedan. We'll be giving the car a foam bath, a hand wash, use clay and an iron fallout remover to decontaminate the paint, and then we will spend a good amount of time doing paint correction so we can prepare the car for the ceramic coating that it will get. First off, we're starting with cleaning the wheels. I use my Gloria Foam Master with some snow foam to cover the wheels in a nice thick layer of foam. Then I use a wheel woolly to clean the barrel of the rim. After that, I use a wheel brush to clean the front of the rim, followed by a detail brush to get into the more intricate areas of the car, and I finish it off with a tire brush. Then we rinse the wheel, and we are left with one clean wheel. Of course, this process is repeated on the other three wheels as well. Now it's time to give the car a foam bath. Now normally I would give the car a good rinse with just plain water first, but I decided to do some research on what is actually better. Rinse the car first and then use snow foam, or just use snow foam directly. And it turns out that using snow foam directly is the better option, as it will stick to the dirty paint more and therefore it does a better job at removing the dirt. Also, rinsing the car before means that the water will dilute the snow foam even more. So after learning all this, I decided from now on I use my snow foam directly as opposed to rinsing the car first. And while the snow foam is loosening up the dirt, I use a detail brush to get into the more intricate areas like the emblems of the car. Then it's time to rinse the car and remove the snow foam. And after that, it's time to give the car a thorough hand wash. For this I use a microfiber wash mitt and Meguiar's Wash Plus. This shampoo is very effective at removing dirt, and it's also slightly abrasive, which means it ever so slightly removes light paint imperfections. However, since it's abrasive, it does affect any previous layers of wax, so while it is my go-to shampoo for full-on details, I don't use it during a regular maintenance wash. After going over the entirety of the car, I rinse the car with my pressure washer once again. Then it's time to use an iron fallout remover. I use Manello's non-ferro and cover the entire car with the product. And allow it a few minutes to loosen up the iron particles embedded on the paintwork. The car did not have a lot of contamination, but there were definitely some spots on there, which meant it wasn't a waste to do this step. After a few minutes, I thoroughly rinsed the car once again. And after that, I use a clay mitt and Poor Boy's clay lube to further clean the paint of contaminants. And after another rinse, it was finally time to properly dry the car. I used my trusty Master Blaster sidekick to remove the water from areas like mirrors, trim and whatnot, and I use a drying towel to get rid of the water on the panels of the car. So now it's time to continue our work in the garage. Now, when you look at this clip, you might think that the paint is in immaculate condition. But under the right light, you will see just how many defects this paint has. So I'm grabbing my detailing lights to give you a better look of what the paintwork is actually like. And well, as you can see from the footage, the car suffers from a lot of swirls and scratches. So first I did a test bed on the trunk of the car and see what pad and compound I would need to get rid of those defects. And as it turns out, I need a heavy cutting pad along with Manzurna 400 to give me the best chance of getting rid of as many scratches as possible. So before we move on, we tape off any sensitive areas like the door trim and the mirrors. And from there on out, it's hours and hours of polishing the car, going over each panel very slowly with a crosshatch pattern, trying to get as much of the defects as possible out of the paint. In between polishing, I also use a special brush to get rid of the compound to make sure the pad doesn't get full of caked on compound. This brush basically makes sure the pad stays clean and it is able to keep on cutting through the paint properly. Another thing the customer wanted was the removal of the badges on the side. So first we use a heat gun to warm up the glue that is behind the badge. The warmer the glue gets, the softer it gets. And the softer the glue gets, the easier it is to get the badge off. Then I use some dental floss to slowly but surely remove the badge from the car. After removing the badge, there is a bunch of glue left on the car itself. So here's a caramel disc. That's right, this is hard enough to get rid of the glue, but soft enough not to damage the paintwork. I use my power drill to rub the caramel disc against the glue, and slowly but surely it gets rid of the remaining residue. And last but not least, I give the panel one final polish, and there's no way to tell that there used to be a badge here. And after many hours, it's time to treat the car with a finishing pad and a finishing compound. At this stage, we're no longer focusing on cutting the paint, but now we're focusing on adding as much gloss to the paint as possible. And after that step, the paint is corrected. But before we move on to the next step, which is the paint protection, we need to make sure the paint is as clean as possible. And as you can see, there's a lot of compound dust on the car. So we bring the car outside and give it a good rinse with some snow foam. After letting it sit for a few minutes, we rinse off the remaining soap. Now I'm going to take this opportunity to add some extra protection to the rims as well, with CarPro Hydro 2 Light. This paint sealant is extremely easy to apply, as you can spray it on a wet surface, rinse it off, and there you go, easy as pie. The step requires almost no extra time, and at the end of our detail, both the body and the rims will have a layer of protection. After a while, the car is inside, properly dried again, and we can finally add our paint protection for the body of the car. In this case, I'm going with Nanolex's Si3D ceramic coating. This coating will offer years of protection to the paint and add extra slickness, gloss, and hydrophobic qualities. It is also one of the easiest consumer-grade ceramic coatings in my humble opinion, since the chance for streaking is very minimal and the overall use is simple. We add a few drops of the product to a microfiber cloth on top of an applicator pad, and then we use the pad to go over one section of the paintwork in a crosshatch pattern. After a short period, we wipe away the remaining residue with a clean microfiber towel, and there you go. It's that easy. Now, while ceramic coatings, at least the consumer ones, are very easy to apply, the majority of the work is all about the preparation. The cleaner the paint, the better it bonds to the paintwork, which is exactly why we spend so much time deep cleaning the car and getting the swirls and scratches out of the paint before we decided to protect it. And after letting the ceramic coating cure to the paint for the night, we add a topper to the ceramic coating the next morning. In this case, it's Turtle Wax's graphene-infused flex wax. It's as simple as spraying a panel twice, working the product in with a clean microfiber towel, and then wiping away the residue with a second clean microfiber towel. And after that's done, we focus a bit on the interior of the car. First, I used 303 automotive protectant on the doors and interior for extra UV protection and a nice deep look of the plastic parts. Then I used a window towel and a window cleaner to clean the infotainment screen, which had many greasy fingerprints on it. I also take some time to polish the center console, as this had some piano black plastic that actually had a lot of scratches on it as well. And then finally we add some tire gel to the tires for that nice and black finishing look. And well, after many hours of work, the Toyota Corolla is finally ready for the road. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.